Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We are going to be talking about Kringle Candle Vacay. Now, this is one of the 3-wick candles that was released as part of the 19 candles that they were kind of like a surprise release back in early April. The packaging on this, I feel like this is being kind of called like the labeled 3-wick collection. A lot of people in the Kringle Facebook group, and some of you guys have mentioned that you feel like the packaging on this reminds you a little bit of like Goose Creek. Personally, you guys, I think that this whole collection, it's not really super cohesive in terms of like the packaging in general, other than like these labels. Some of the lids are different textured and colored. These are a 100% soy wax, but it is the colored wax. A couple of people have said that some of these fragrances are repackages of country candle fragrances in the past. There are some that have been, brought back from the vault. So this one just kind of feels like it's just kind of, I don't want to say like a hodgepodge collection, but it's here. And I will say that the price point on these candles, this one in and of itself, this 3-wick, this is a 3-wick 14-ounce vessel, does retail for I think $24. However, the pricing on these candles are 3 for 33. So if you purchase 3 candles out of the 19, you're going to be getting them for $11 each. So let's go ahead and talk about this fragrance. I have actually done reviews so far, I believe, on 3 of these candles. Yes, I believe 3 of these candles so far. I think that this is my 4th review. I did purchase 6 of the candles from this collection initially. I have already done reviews on Grandma's Lemonade, Melon Medley, and Pistachio Crema. So this one, Vacay, we have fragrance notes of pineapple, sweet apple, floral, and coconut. Now, this particular candle has a pour date of March 13th, 2025. I do always like to reference pour dates if I can, although I will tell you that soy wax doesn't tend to have the quirk that some other soy wax blends or like a paraffin wax blend has, where sometimes they need a little bit more curing time to develop some strength and throw. I don't necessarily find that to be the case with Kringle candles. So what does my nose detect here? This fragrance, you know how it has that note listed there of floral? This is kind of like a tropical floral fragrance. I initially thought by looking at the fragrance note that this was going to be more of like a fruity type of fragrance, but it leans more floral to my nose. Do I enjoy it? Yes. I do get some coconut. Pineapple is a fragrance note that I can take or leave. Do I get a little bit of sweetness from pineapple in here? Yes. And believe it or not, I think that like now that they have sweet apple written there, I do detect apple in here. But there is a floral component to this that I'm trying to figure out what tropical floral fragrance this is exactly. I'm trying to figure out if it's maybe like a frangipani. It's not a hibiscus to my nose, but it does smell like something a little bit tropical. Do I like the fragrance? Yes. Is it anything earth shattering or completely conceptual and outside of the box or outside of the realm of anything that I wouldn't find with any other brand? No. To me, I would say that if you are a fan of the fragrance Fiji in the traditional Kringle lineup, like in their 2-wick format, I think that you would like this fragrance. It's different than Fiji. I feel like this is kind of like the less sophisticated sister to Fiji. Fiji has a little bit more complexity to it. But this one, I feel like, again, if you are a fan of the fragrance Fiji from Kringle, then I think that you would like this. It would probably be a nice complementary scent to it. At the moment, I am actually really enjoying burning this with their Reserve White Lotus fragrance, which is also technically, I would say, kind of like it's kind of like a soapy floral type of fragrance to my nose. This one leans kind of like tropical fruity floral to me. It's not super sweet, but it's a nice fragrance. It definitely reminds me of being on a tropical vacation, maybe like it leans a little bit body care to me, if I could be really honest with you guys. And for that reason, I don't see myself repurchasing this fragrance, but it was nice that I tried it out. I see myself continuing to burn it. Like I said, I'm really enjoying burning it with the White Lotus fragrance, which again is a little bit of like a soapy floral. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Caress body wash. The other fragrance that this has actually paired really nicely with has been Caramel Sundays Pink Sands. Very nice fragrance combo. But again, that's my impression of the fragrance overall. Let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle. So I'm going to try to turn it around here. The wax pool is pretty deep and this candle is a little bit hot. So you can see a nice deep wax pool we've got going on there. I have had this candle lit for, about 2.5 hours now. You can see that it's got healthy flames. I would caution on these 3 wicks in particular not to trim the wicks too aggressively, because I have had some issues with some of my, not so much these vessels, but some of my painted 3-wick vessels. I'm finding that if I trim the wicks too much, I'm experiencing some drowning wicks, which is a very, very uncommon problem with Kringle candles. But if I have experienced it with them, it's been on a very rare occasion, maybe less than, gosh, I've purchased so many candles from Kringle. I would say maybe I can count like on one hand how many I've had that experience with. But I am experiencing that a little bit with some of my painted 3 wicks. So I would caution you, don't trim the wicks too much on this candle. This one doesn't really need it. You can see it's got a healthy flame. I'll go ahead and lift this up and put it a little bit closer. You can see right there. See, a little bit of excess carbon at the end, but there's no issues with sooting. Nice, clean wax pool. Doesn't smell sooty. Performs quite well in terms of a clean burn, which is what we have come to expect from Kringle. Strength and throw on this one, you guys. I'm going to say that this one is around like between a 5 and a 6 for me. This fragrance, unfortunately, gets lost out in my open concept living room. I do have high vaulted ceilings there. However, when I place this in my bedroom, I can definitely smell it very well out there, or in there, excuse me. It throws pretty well in there. So for that reason, I think I'm going to go ahead and give this a 6. That's kind of where my cutoff is. I feel like if I walk into my master bedroom and I can distinctly smell a candle and it's filling up the entire space and throwing into the master bath, but when I place it out into the open concept, if I can't smell it out there, then I know like my max range is like, oh, this is a 6. So I feel like if you have lower ceilings, if you have more of a closed concept, you have a smaller space that you plan to burn this candle in, you are going to be pretty happy with it. If you're wanting to burn this out in a big open concept, you're going to be disappointed because it just doesn't, it really just is not a super strong fragrance. If you are looking for a super strong fragrance from these 3 wicks, the 2 that have been the strongest for me so far have been the Grandma's Lemonade. That was like almost a 9 in terms of strength and throw. And then that fragrance is very similar to Bath and Body Works Limoncello. And then the other fragrance that did quite well for me was Pistachio Crema. Again, I do have a post-burn reviews on both of those. Just be aware that Pistachio Crema leans a little bit more body care than it does Gourmand, but it does have a really good performance. This one I would say is in the same performance in terms of strength and throw as the Melon Medley. You can detect it in smaller spaces, but it's going to get lost out in an open concept. And so therefore, for me, I kind of place this in the category as like a complementary fragrance. It's not going to be an anchor fragrance in my home. An anchor fragrance for me is one that performs very well out in the open concepts. And then the complementary ones are ones that I might burn in the bedrooms, alongside the anchor one. So overall, you guys, I would give this candle 1 thumb up in terms of the fragrance. I do like it, but again, I don't feel like it's anything truly unique or outside of the box. It's not something that I feel like I need again. But that being said, if you're wanting to maybe take advantage of that 3 for 33, and maybe you have 2 candles in your cart right now and you're trying to make a decision on like a third one to throw in there, and you tend to like, the fragrance description that I gave, then I would say go ahead and throw this one in your cart. But as for me, it's not going to be a repurchase. My discount code Katie15 over at Kringle will not apply to the 3 for 33 bundle because that is already quite a significant discount. But if you happen to want to save money on shipping, maybe you're throwing in a reserve candle or another candle that is not currently on sale, then you can use my discount code for full priced items. It is an affiliate code eligible for a commission, so please only use that if you are comfortable doing so. All of the commission money that I use, you guys might be able to tell, pretty much turns right back around, and I use it to purchase more candles to review here on my channel. So I do genuinely say thank you very much. And my husband says thank you very much if you choose to support my channel that way. So let me know in the comment box down below if you have purchased this candle. What has your experience been with it? Do you like fragrances in this category? You know, kind of floral, tropical floral, body care type of element. I know a lot of people tend to like those fragrances this time of year. So yeah, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. Please hit thumbs up if you found this review helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.